been a while. I was driving back from my session this evening. I worked with our U12s and U14s, and as I was driving back, just you have a little bit of a decompression, and you sort of reflecting a little bit on your practice. I wasn't that happy with my session, and one of the main reasons is because I didn't arrive with good time to set up. I like to have a bit of a chat. I like to chat with the families if they're around, and if they're sort of watching the session. Often I think they appreciate you having a little bit of a relaxed chat with them, because they only get to see you on match day when you're looking, when I'm looking quite tense, and then they see some messages from you, so it can be a little bit of a sterile relationship if you kind of leave it to be reduced to those fleeting bits of contact, so I think it's nice to have moments before practice or even after practice where you're just sort of connecting with people in the environment. I do think that people are, it sounds obvious, but I do think that people are very, very, very important in the environment where we're working with players. It probably sounds obvious, but it's just that you can be working in some places and they're thinking more about something else and forgetting how important the players are, how important the families are, how important the guardians are, so I do like to try to connect with the parents and the families. It's not always effective, and sometimes I think that sometimes maybe I do it too late, so they've already got a perception of maybe how I work, and sort of being mystified by something, or having an impression which is not accurate, or is at least not the full story. So I do think that it's my fault today, because I didn't give myself a decent amount of time, because I was doing so much other stuff before actually going to the session or going to the sessions. So that's a shame. One of our families had been away and brought me back a gift from their visit overseas, and that was really, really nice of them. So pleased. There's some really lovely people involved in raising these young people that we're working with. Very pleased about that. The session today for the U12s, we're working on. We've got like a technical syllabus. We're working on turning, running with the ball, and finishing. Finishing was very bad. Finishing was very bad. I think one of the balls, I don't think they've come down yet. It's still up there somewhere. And then with the U14s, we've got more of obviously it's age appropriate work. So we've just started working a little bit more focused on tactics. It wasn't that great either. So we're working on playing through midfield. Again, I do think that when I finish my session and I'm sort of having a bit of reflection, I've got to look at myself first. I sort of having a bit of reflection. I've got to look at myself first. I often am not that happy after a session, but it's usually something that I have or haven't done. I do think that the first place we should look as coaches is, what was my setup like? Was I talking too long? Was the ball moving while I was talking, or am I lecturing players, and is it actually helpful for them to learn with me standing there for 10 minutes talking at them? So often when you're kind of looking at how you've worked, or when I'm looking at how my session's gone, the first thing I do really is I do have a think, and usually I come to the conclusion that it was me. I've done something or not done something. So today, poor preparation. It meant that my session plan wasn't detailed enough. So I do think it's important, for me anyway, to always have my session plan with me. Some coaches don't need it, they know it, they know the timings and stuff, but me, I don't have anyone managing my timings. I don't always know my timings, so I've got to have my session plan with me. And I think one of the challenges is making sure if you're deviating from your planned timings, there's got to be a clear purpose to it, and you've got to be mindful not to make that habit. We deviate from the timings. That shouldn't be what the default is. I don't think, because it means that you're always missing the stuff that's actually supposed to be integral to the longer term planning of the player, or medium term planning of the player or group. So I have to be a bit more disciplined in that respect. I'm yawning because it's coming up to 11 PM, and I think I'm mentally a bit tired as well, because I've been doing a lot more admin than I would normally do. My poor little brain cell's not designed for thinking throughout the day. I only usually think when I'm preparing for sessions. So my poor brain cell's like, hello, what's happening? I'm enjoying working with our players. I've got tomorrow I'm covering for a coach, so I'm working with some U16 boys tomorrow. We've got tournaments at the weekend, or a tournament at the weekend. We're getting into tournament season now, so it does change the rhythm of the sessions, and we're not at the age group where it necessarily changes like the tempo or anything, but we definitely are looking at the mindset a bit more. I did have to have an impromptu conversation or monologue with the group because of their mentality towards the practice, our younger group. So we are in competition phase, tournament phase, and I think that brings its own challenges. It's going to be a tough tournament for us this weekend, I think. So I need to not get these sessions wrong throughout the week. We don't train so often as often as we would like, but right now there's not much we can do about it. But there's lots of good work to be done. I think, again, it's one of those where you're kind of looking at how something went. How did the session go? Did you meet your outcomes? I think I need to get back on track with my structure. I have to admit, a lot of that has fallen on the wayside because I've had so many other things occurring which I'm responsible for, so it has then fallen by the wayside a wee bit in terms of my actual on-field work. So I'd like to correct that, because that's the best part of being a coach. That's the best part of being involved in the sport. So I don't want to lose my my management of that area. But lots of positive things to look forward to. I can't hide this last yawn. I'm going to try to go to bed before 3 AM